So we want to find the derivative of 2xy plus 2y squared equals x. Since it's not going to be easy to solve for y explicitly, what we're going to do is use implicit differentiation, and then we'll solve for the derivative. So when we do implicit differentiation, we're thinking of y as a function of x, which means anytime we take a derivative of a y term, we essentially have to use the chain rule. There are more in-depth videos on my channel about implicit differentiation, but for right now, let's just go through this particular problem. With implicit differentiation, having an x times a y becomes a product rule situation because you have x times a function of x. So we have to treat this first part like a product rule. So product rule says you hold part alone, so 2x times the derivative of the other part. So the derivative of y is 1 times dy dx. Should be a y there. Now plus, now this time we're going to leave the y alone, and we're going to multiply by the derivative of 2x, which is 2. Now we're not going to have this same notation over here because what it would be is dx dx, which is 1, so we don't need it because we're taking the derivative with respect to x. We only need it when we take the derivative of a y term. So for example, now we're going to take the derivative of 2y squared. Well, we know by our power rule that's 4y, but this is a chain rule, so we have to multiply by the derivative of the inside, which is y, so we have to multiply by dy dx. Lastly, the derivative of x is just 1. So when we do a derivative of an x term, it's like normal. When we do a derivative of a y term, we have to multiply by dy dx or y prime. Now, our goal is to solve for dy dx. We have 2 of them, so we need to leave these 2 terms on the left-hand side. We'll move this y times 2, or this 2y, over to that side by subtracting 2y from both sides. So what that does for us, we'll have 2x dy dx. This is what's left on the left-hand side, 4y dy dx. This is always going to be part of your strategy with implicit differentiation. 1 minus 2y, excuse me. Because now on the left-hand side, I can factor the dy dx out. So times 2x plus 4y equals 1 minus 2y. And lastly, we will divide to get our derivative. So we divide both sides by 2x plus 4y. And now those will cancel. And here we have our dy dx. And there's not much simplifying we could do. Yeah, we could factor a 2 out of the denominator, but it doesn't get us anywhere. So we'll just leave it as 1 minus 2y over 2x plus 4y.